2 photographers, 2 photos, only 1 edit can win. Boom! All right, so my name's Drew Schaefer. I'm a pro photographer. This is my friend Connor Back. He's an amateur photographer, but he shot some photos down in the Carolinas last week on vacation. And he was like, Drew, what would you do on this edit? And I was like, well, what would you do on this edit? And then he was like, you know what, let's just make a video about it.
We decided that'd probably be the best option. I actually ended up taking these photos, I think directly after the hurricane came through. So got some cool photos and we're excited for you guys to see.
And basically what's gonna happen here is we're both gonna edit the photo at the same time. We have 5 minutes to edit a photo, and then we're both gonna show you guys our edits, and then you guys down in the comments below can decide who wins. Couple rules to start with. Here are the rules. No presets. Zero presets. This is all handmade, handcrafted through the computer, but handmade. Voice crack. Also, 5-minute limit, no presets, and the other rule is it has to be badass.
Pretty simple.
We take nothing but the best here. We're gonna start our first photo. I'll show it on the screen right now. Here's the before photo, and then I'm gonna hit start, and then you will see what it looks like after. And go.
I'm super nervous.
Oh, what's up? My name's Drew. I'm gonna destroy Connor Back.
Oh yeah, you're gonna absolutely destroy me.
I've never done like a photo competition. I feel like
I'm freaking out.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like in a game or something.
You are. Aha, you're doing a little look.
No peeking. That's the other rule that we didn't talk about. No peeking. Oh, this is hard.
This is hard.
Dude, I've never done it with a time constraint. How much time do we have left? We have 2 minutes.
Our computers are about to take off by the way.
Yeah, we're like jet engine over here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, stop. 5 minutes is up. We both have our photos, and I'll put them on the screen right now. So these are our photos. We did a little bit different edits, obviously, but for mine, I basically just tried to give it kind of like a natural early morning surf look. There are some things I forgot to do, like I forgot to angle it appropriately, which is fine. The exposure I brought up a little bit. I didn't do any like crazy teal and orange effect really for this one. I did add some fake sunlight in the top left corner, but I thought it kind of added to the photo. I thought it was kind of cool. I dropped the highlights a little bit, saturation, not too crazy. I really went for like more of a natural look on this one, kind of like a Chris Burkhardt type edit.
Yeah, I kind of did a little different. I kind of have a little bit more blue tint, which you can definitely see kind of in the photos. And again, I'm an amateur and Drew's a pro, so this is my amateur-esque style. Kind of looking at Drew's and then looking at mine now is kind of, Drew's obviously looks 20 times better. Got him. I have no sunlight, I have no kind of extra, but I do have a little bit more blue tint in the sky, kind of in the wave. I ended up not cropping mine whatsoever, and again, like Drew said, kind of not angling it evenly. So I kind of pulled out some of the yellow in the wave. It's kind of something that I tried to do.
Yeah, definitely tried to get some of that green out of the wave because the water looked kind of gross.
Yeah.
So I tried, but obviously we only had 5 minutes, so I couldn't accurately do it. But right. I feel like for 5 minutes, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, so that's what I did. But you can definitely see a little bit more blue tint that I have in my photo. But yeah, overall, I tried to make it look a little natural, but I think that I did muff it up.
But I did shoot all of these in RAW with a Sony a6300 with an 18-105 lens. So he did shoot it with a professional camera, so you don't have to worry about that. The photos are high quality RAW. You guys decide the winner of that little one, and then we have one more photo to do.
Damn, yours was really good. I really like your photo. See, that's what I was trying to go for, and I think I was trying to do too much. I think I have boogers in my nose.
So the one thing about photography is sometimes less is more and more is less. I feel like a lot of photographers, when they first start off, they're like, the clarity tool. Cause like, I remember me and my buddy Schumann, we hit the clarity tool and we're like, oh my God, it's like God's creation of the world. Oh, let's hit the saturation. But then like when you really kind of dive deep into it, you learn like, okay, like I need simplicity. I don't want it to be like too crazy, and actually doing less on a photo is more. I really always try to get my photos as close to perfect in camera when I'm there, so that when I come home, I don't have to do a lot to my photos.
Yeah, and I see the opposite side where like being the amateur, I definitely fit that mold of kind of the amateur photographer, or I guess the amateur editor, I guess you can say. I think I overdo my photos sometimes. There's some that I don't, but the majority of them I do. I think that just comes from me not, touching as many photos as Drew has, or any kind of more professional style individual who's done this time and time and time again. So that's something that I got to focus on a little bit more. But I mean, as you can see,
hey, we're learning.
We're learning. That's what it's about.
All right, round 2. Also, he's editing in Lightroom cloud-based, cloud-based Lightroom, and I'm editing in Lightroom Classic. So there's also a little bit of a difference there. This round, same as before, 5 minutes, no presets, has to be badass. It's the only qualifications we have on this channel.
And no peeking at screens.
No peeking at screens, because I did that.
Not that it matters.
Not that it really mattered, but we're gonna start this round in 3, 2, 1, go. What time of day did you shoot this?
This was like about 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30, something like that.
I asked that so that I can edit it accordingly.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so bad. What am I doing?
Oh, who wants fake sunlight? Drew does. Why? Because it looks really cool.
I wanted to, but I can't. I know exactly how to do it.
Lens corrections, off. I'm like one of the few photographers that doesn't like lens corrections. Oh yeah.
This is 2 minutes and 27 seconds left.
We're halfway through, baby. Tone curve, looks like an S, check. Detail, check. Lens corrections, off, check. I mean, my edit's like, I'm pretty much
done too. What do we got? We got 1 minute 15 left.
And that's it. Boom, done. We just finished editing both our photos. I'll put them on the screen right now. And you guys can decide down below who's better, Kalmbach or Drew Schaefer.
Probably Drew, but we'll see.
You guys are gonna decide on the photos, not us. Before we dive into how we edited these photos, Bach's gonna tell you about how he was able to capture this photo and some cool little history behind it.
Similar to the surf photo, this was kind of the day, the morning after the hurricane blew through. Obviously that was Isaias or something like that, kind of came through, barely missed Florida coast and kind of came up right over Charleston, kind of that area into the North Carolina area. We were sitting at the beach the day prior, and this log wasn't actually there. The next morning when I was out there around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, this log had blown up, and it was a pretty decent log. I think it was, I'm 6'3", probably was 2 or 3 of me, probably 3 of me. So it's pretty long, pretty large, and kind of got blown up in the storm. So I thought it was kind of a neat photo to capture, but
that is kind of neat.
Yeah, pretty neat. So
hurricanes are powerful.
They are. Tropical storms. Yeah, so pretty much kind of the basics of what I did was really try to keep it simplistic. I actually ended up adding a little light or some sort of kind of little sun ray to the top left corner to kind of come down because that's where the sun was. Obviously I kind of used that from the last surf video that Drew talked about. I think that was kind of a nice little addition, so I kind of used a little of his unique style. And I kept it really simplistic. I added a little bit of texture. I tried to keep the colors pretty decent, and I added a little yellow tint at the end, just to kind of bring a little bit more of the sand out in the sun. But overall, everything was pretty low key. My exposure wasn't crazy high. Yeah, everything else was pretty normal. A little bit of highlights, a little bit of shadows to kind of pop that shadow on the right side of the log. Cropped it a little bit, pretty minimal S-curve, but overall tried to keep it simple.
For mine, first thing I did was I fixed the aspect ratios to a 4:5 for Instagram. Will this go on Instagram? I don't know, but I just did it anyways. Adjusted the exposure, brought it up a little bit, and then of course had to add in the fake sunlight in the top left corner. Now you don't want to add sunlight in the top right corner because the shadows are going this way. And sometimes I see you guys on Instagram, and I'm guilty of it a couple years ago, of putting sun in the wrong spot. So make sure if you put sunlight in a photo that you're putting it where the sun might actually be. And then obviously I brought down the highlights to get a little more exposure out of the sky. Brought down the shadows a little bit. As far as like saturation and vibrance, saturation was only up 3. Pretty minimal S-curve, and then I did add a little bit of a fade to the shot, a little bit of a mood there. And how you can do that is you just click on the S-curve right here, and then you just pull up just a tad, and you can add just a little bit of a faded look faded film look to your photos. Lens correction was off. I'm one of the few photographers that probably does that. I mean, it was pretty simple. I used a little bit of a dehaze. This dehaze feature I kind of like, but I don't use it all the time. I never use the contrast tool. That's one thing I never do, is use the contrast tool. Whites, definitely brought up the whites because I was trying to make it look as sunny and as like morning as possible. That's why I asked him, I'm like, yo, what time of morning was this? Because I wanted to kind of edit it accordingly. If I tried to edit this photo for 8 p.m., it might look totally different. That's my edit. And then you guys can decide who's better, Conor Bach or Drew Schaefer. Maybe you guys like Conor Bach better. I don't know. That was our amateur versus pro challenge for photo editing. But this was fun. We've wanted to do this for a while. He's always asking me like, yo, how should I edit my photo? And then sometimes I'm like, yo, how did you do that? And then I'm like, you know what, screw it. Like, let's just do a versus photo. Let's wake up early, get it done, get some Timmy Hose in us, get the day started right. So I hope you guys like this video. If you do all those stupid, annoying things that YouTubers tell you to do. If you want, you can follow Conor Bach on Instagram. I'll link it right here somewhere. And also you can follow me if you get really bored. You can follow a weird ginger on Instagram. Got any last things you want to say?
Not at all. Follow Drew Schaefer's Instagram. Check out his website.
Yeah, follow the website. He helped me rebuild it, and it's really cool. And you can see Jack on there. Also, you can only see half of his face.
Who doesn't want to see Jack? Anyway, thanks guys. We appreciate your time, and peace.
Peace.